Welcome back, turners. For today's project I'm going to be turning a fairly large medium-sized bowl, small large-sized bowl. It's going to be made from some California Peppertree. I got a piece of it right here. So big chunk of log. It's longer than it is wide, so you can kind of see it's close to square but not quite. This is going to give me about a 12-inch bowl. So this is going to be one of the items I'm donating to the charity in St. Louis. I'll tell you more about that at the end of the video. Let's get started. Alright guys, we're going to start here at the workbench. I've selected my 12-inch disc to cut out the bowl blank. I'm just going to eyeball this vertically to see if I can center up over the edge as well. And that appears to be about the best centering I'm going to get out of this. So I'm going to put my little nail through this and take this over to the bandsaw. Eyeball that one more time. That looks pretty good. Alright. Okay, one way I can check to make sure this is well centered. Let's see if I can show you this. Okay, so in other words, I was eyeballing vertically, but let's see if I can do this edge first. To show you, I'm going to move the camera a little bit. I can come up against the edge of the bowl and not touch the disc. Okay, so I'm up on the edge down here. This is a 90 degree, and I'm not touching this disc. The same with the other side. It's about the same distance. Looks like a little less than a 1/4 inch right there, but that means it's well centered. Okay, so now to the bandsaw. Alright guys, so there is some kind of a bark layer on here still, and there looks like a little bit of checking toward the bottom. No significant cracking or checking up along the regular parts of the grain. Looks like there is a little inclusion here, some kind of knot. I think most of this bottom stuff will turn away, so you can also see there's a little inclusion up here along the top. So there could be some design enhancements that I need to make to this blank as I'm turning it. So what I'm going to do now is mount this on a face plate and get it set up on the lathe. Okay guys, let's start here on the workbench. I've got to get this face plate on. I got it centered up to the centering hole, and I'm just going to use a bunch of these wood screws to secure this down. So, this is a little too big. I'm going to have to rotate my headstock. Let's fire this up, and you can see I've got clearance on my bed, so let's see how she spins. Okay, so that's at the lowest setting. There's a little vibration there, but you know what? Not too bad. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to move my banjo to the other side where there's a little banjo extension and use the tool rest extension so I can turn this outboard. Okay, I've got the tool rest extension mounted up here. I've checked my closeness to the tool rest and I've got good clearance. So I don't like using this too long because this much metal extended can allow for vibration. But what we need to do is just get off enough of the exterior that I can rotate the headstock back over the ways. So let's do that. And don't forget your face mask, especially for something like this. Alright, let's see if we can fit over the ways. Okay, you can see I was able to get the headstock back over the bed, and I have clearance for the blank. So now we're going to just continue roughing it until I find a bowl. This may take a while. Okay, well, I'm starting to get rid of some of the wood that's not a bowl. And looks like I've got some strange cracking in here. I think I can fill that. I'm going to go a little deeper here anyway to see if that'll come off. This is the part I'm a little concerned about because I want to start establishing my foot and the recess for my chuck. I'm going to be using my jumbo jaws, as I call them, which I guess these are, what the heck these are. I think these are, oh, I'm going to get out of caliper. Right. It's a 3.5 inch jaw. I guess it's 90 millimeters. So that's about just a little bit bigger than that is the recess I want to set up. So I think I'm going to start fighting that now. I credit this little idea to Captain Eddie Castellan. Most of you have probably seen this before. It's just a little piece of corian, and I've got one for each set of jaws, and it helps me establish for my calipers for my inside and my outside. Okay, so that's where I want to be. Now you just use one side to establish the line, not both sides. Start a little bit inside, so you can see. Right there. Okay, so that outer line will be my recess. Alright, there's some good wood in here. That's a pretty healthy recess. I think that part's going to be okay. I may clean that off anyway some as I do this side of the bowl. So you can see I've got some stuff to contend with. But I think I'm going to sweep up in a little bit of a more funnel shaped bowl on this one. We'll see. Alright guys, here's the bowl shape that I'm going for. Let me bring it down sideways so you can kind of see it. I took it off so I could fill some of these little voids with some sawdust and super glue. And now I'm going to do a little finishing on here as far as doing a finishing pass with the tools, and then some sanding and sealing and all that. So then we'll get this thing reversed and start hollowing the inside. Okay, now it's time for a little bit of sanding. Alright guys, this is how it's going to look. That's the shape of the bowl, and there's the little detail at the bottom. You can see that. Okay, let's add the sanding sealer, the Tripoli, and the Shella wax, and now I'm going to reverse it and start hollowing. Alright guys, I think you see that little bark inclusion, or actually it's a knot, but it was from where a branch used to go through. I've got another one over here I'll probably have to deal with later, unless I can manage to scoop that out. But this one I'm going to treat with some sawdust that I got out of the turning, and I'm going to fill it with the sawdust, and then I'm going to put some CA in there. Alright, I don't know if you noticed, but when I took this off, I left the chuck on the bowl. I don't want to change that dimension now. So if I took it off, this edge might shift, and I'm trying to set the rim, so I don't want to take it off the chuck. And the other thing is I do keep my, this is a threaded live center that is supporting the bowl blank to keep it from dislodging. So now we're going to see if we can clean up that inclusion. the rim of this bowl set to where I want it. The inclusion filled up nicely. I have scraped that, and it's ready for some sanding. I'm going to do a little decorative something or other on here also, and I do that before I remove the mass in the center, just so that the bowl doesn't flex due to the internal stresses being released. So I'm going to put a little decorative band up here and then hollow out the rest. Alright guys, we're looking pretty good. I've got my rim, I've got this hollowed out. I think I'm down, let me check. How far down am I? Oh, that's good. I got about 3/8. If you guys can see that, let me do it again. So I've got about 3/8 left on the bottom of that bowl. So sounds good. Nice even wall. It's about 1/4 inch thick, and it comes down into about 3/8 down here. So a nice transition, smooth. I had another inclusion here. I had to fill with CA and sawdust. So now I'm ready to sand up the interior and start finishing. So let me get on with that. Alright, turners, there it is. This is the finished bowl. Wow, that came out nice and light. It's got my, let's see if I can get a close-up. A little decorative detail up at the top. And nice grain in there. You can see the couple of inclusions. They finished out nice. Okay, got too much shine on there. So this is finished with, I did my regular sanding sealer. I did the Triple E Ultra Shine, and then I finished it off with the Shell Wax Cream. So here's the profile of the bowl. There's that little knot inclusion, which shows up in the pattern too, by the way. It's there, but it took the pattern okay. And there's my little decorative detail on the bottom. So now I'm going to sign this, and it'll be ready to go. Well, turners, thanks again for tuning in to watch me turn this California Peppertree bowl. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. This is Peppertree. So some, again, local urban harvest from a tree trimmer that I know, and it was a fun project, and I just appreciate you tuning in to watch with me. So this is ready to go to St. Louis with that natural edge bowl that was the subject of my last video, and they're going to be auctioned off at a charity. Let me tell you a little bit about that. So for those of you in St. Louis, you may already know about this place, but it's the Cornerstone Center for Early Learning. This is their letterhead, anyway. And they were kind enough to send me just a little thank you note. They included this fun little picture of some of the teachers and students. And just a really great organization. I'm happy to provide them with what I can donate as far as my work. And they do pretty well at the auction. So, and if you guys like the video, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And check out my channel. I've got some links to some other awesome woodworkers and woodturners out there. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you for the next one.